witness how you work for the province of Surigao del Sur, though it can be considered as collective, synchronized, and concerted efforts, but it was still out of your thorough experience, remarkable leadership. In fact, as you said earlier, Cong, the first visit of mine in the Pandag, Surigao del Sur, it took for me 8 to 10 hours. But my last, my last visit was only 3 to 4 hours. So, almost half of the entire journey was cut because of a very astonishing improvement of the infrastructure support facilities, bridges, roads, as built, of course, for the people of Surigao del Sur. And I know that the people of Surigao del Sur did not go wrong in choosing you, in trusting you, and you deserve, of course, for such position. Listening from you, Kong Johnny, the president of your party, tama gid ay si Senator Pacquiao in choosing you as the spokesperson of the party. Please tell us about this another responsibility of yours.
Aside from that, I was just appointed by Senator Manny. If you recall, last December, we had a transition. We had some reorganization of the PDP Laban. Uh, Before, our president was Senator Pimentel. Now the third over of the presidency of PDP Laban. After 1 week, excuse me, I was appointed as the regional chairman of PDP Laban for Caraga region. And for these coming elections, I will help the party and Senator Pacquiao to put in place the organization of PDP Laban in Caraga region.
Yes, Kong. Now let's proceed to your accomplishments, your works as member, of course, of the House of Representatives. In our research, you have sponsored nearly 68 bills and resolutions, to include also 76 bills as co-author. And as we scan, of course, the long list of these bills and resolutions, among the bills that we are interested, being, of course, a coordinating body of the Philippine Population Management Program, working with the 11 agencies of the government, including the Department of Health, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, we would like to ask the update of the following bills, as you principally authored. One is the House Bill number 04748, titled as an act increasing paternity leave from 7 days to 15 days. May we know the update of this proposed
Ay,
measure, Kangjani?
ang paternity leave, no? Because if you recall, ang maternity leave during the last Congress
Yes.
was passed into law.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, nadugangan sila, di ba?
Yes.
Na how many days?
Mm-mm.
And then may option pa to extend it. So I was thinking, ang paternity leave, murag dihado ang mga lalaki.
Yes.
Because while they're enjoying, I think, 90 days or 100 days maternity leave, ang paternity leave is only 7 days.
Yes.
My concept is that dili man tanan pamilya na ay mga masugo, na ay
Yes.
mga maid what, di ba?
Oo.
In some households, or rather in many households,
Yes.
the husband, the father, helps in the wife's duties.
Yes.
Na gani mga husband, sila'y maglaba, sila'y magplansa.
Yes.
Now, when a woman gives birth, we know very well that it will take a few weeks because
Yes.
or she can do her household duties. Di, kay mabughat man na. Ang babae pag manganak, she should stay
You
in
know
bed
that.
for at least 2 weeks. So I was thinking, I think 1 week is too short. na para makatabang ang bana. For me actually, para makatabang actually ang bana dito pod sa iyang asawa. Kay kaluoy pod kung lang walay mga maid, walay mga yaya, then how can the mother no perform her duties? So in short, the extension of this 7-day paternity leave to 15 days will give more time for the father in helping the mother for her recovery. That is my main purpose. Kasi siyempre, kung
Yes.
kita, and more than that, it would be very hard for the father. Like for example, working father ka, tapos ang walay maid sa inyong balay, walay katabang.
Oo. Mm-mm.
Every time you work, you will always be worried. Unsa naman tong akong wife, unsa naman tong akong anak. You will always be worried. So therefore, he will not also be performing in his duty because he's
Correct.
all at the back of his mind is her
Yes.
is his wife and his newborn child. So why
Yes.
don't we give him at least 2 weeks para in first to help recover, to concentrate on on his wife to recover. So after 2 weeks, makarecover na itong wife, he is now, ikumpana more relaxed in his work, he can now perform better.
Yes.
Walay stress.
Correct, Kong. The intent and the content of the proposed measure support our program known as Katropa, kalalakihang tapat, tumutugon sa responsibilidad at obligasyon sa
Yes,
pamilya at asawa.
member ako ng katropa. In
Yes.
fact, every time, every year na naay activity ng katropa, I always give my full
Thank you,
support
Kong. Thank you.
aside from financial support. Kaya ah, ang mga member ng katropa sa Bislig, aside sa mga akong mga amigo, they are also the purok presidents,
Uh-huh.
the barangay council. So, uban kami tanan diha. In fact, during the last, bibo kayo ang among ang celebration ng katropa every year. Na among basketball, na ikuan. And then one time, last year I think, I invited even Governor Ike to participate. So
Thank
every
you.
year, I am a member of the Katropa Bislig.
Thank you very much, Kong, for continuously, of course, supporting. In fact, one of the staunch advocate sa atong Philippine Population Management Program, including the responsible parenthood and family planning. Kong, what's the status of this particular proposed measure in the House of Representatives? Because for
I
sure,
will check because the last time it was still in the committee level, no?
yes,
So I will check because there are several bills that I've filed, and some of the hearings, if you recall, medyo na-stall because of the pandemic.
yes,
Uh, it's very hard to conduct an hearing, whereas before we have a face-to-face hearing, but now it's conducted through Zoom. And then for the October, November, nagkasamok man lagi dito. So mong nagka-standstill because of the change in leadership. So I will check on that bill because I think
yes.
that is a good bill.
Yes, personally, that's one of the good bills, especially for the community of the population officers and workers. Kong, and this bill also would help in our campaign in the elimination of gender-based violence by increasing the role of men in domestic or family affairs. Kong, please tell us about this House
Yes,
Bill.
that is okay. Go ahead.
No, you Kong, you go ahead. I guess na kay gusto isulti.
Yes,
Please continue.
that is exactly the one of the goal of this bill is to let the husbands, ang mga lalaki, to be a part of kanang tingong panatong sa recovery ng ilang mga wife. Kaya na
Yes.
may pudlagi mga husbands na magpasagad lamang. Papasagdan lang na. But this time, ang uban mag-ingon man gyud na mag-ingon na pwede ba din na lang ka tabangi ko ni ay dili kay magtrabaho ko ilan na lang napalusot but with this 2 weeks sa paternity leave, wala na ilang kalusot because oras ng mga nakangilang asawa, forced to good sila, they will have to be in the house to help their wives.
Yes, I agree with you, Cong.
Putol man.
Cong, can you still hear me? Kong Tani? Okay. Kong, if we proceed on House Bill number
Yes,
05342, which is entitled as an act providing for a Magna Carta for barangay health workers, BHW. Surely this is a welcome measure for all the community development workers, not only in Agusan, not only in Surigao del Sur, but the entire country.
the current topic. Ibalo ka, Lex, when I became governor, one of my trust was to improve my health services.
Yes.
Because kadaghanan, because when you are the executive, there are so many sectors, no? And some of the, most of the time, ang health sector napasagdan. So, you know, for me, I think that is the most important. Kaya it's very expensive to get sick. Maluoy ka, labi na sa mga pobre in town na dili na usay mag-hospital kay mahadlok sa mga gastos. So that is why ingon pa nila malapit ang akong kasing-kasing sa medical sector.
Yes.
In fact, when I became governor, I won the Galing Puok because of
yes,
my
yes.
FP to reducing maternal mortality ratio in our province. Nakaduog ako dito. It was Noynoy Aquino gave me the award, no, in Malacanang. So, being one of the champions for the medical services, for the health services, ay nakita po na akong mga barangay health workers. The barangay health workers are our frontliners in our health services.
Yes.
Pero kung imong subayod, sila nga mga doktor dito sa barangay. Ha?
Yeah.
The first referral actually of a patient goes to the barangay health center, and the first person na imong makaistorya na taga-barangay is the barangay health workers. So they're the frontliners. And I have seen for myself that these barangay health workers are really working in the barangay health center. Kaya saan mo bisita man ko dito sa barangay health. Pero pangutanon nimo, how much are they receiving? They're receiving only 200 pesos a month as honorarium. I mean, they work very hard. Every time there is a program from the government, no? Whether be it DSWD, Department of Health, pag-abot sa vaccination, sino nga itong gigamit? Mga barangay health workers.
Yeah.
Pag-abot sa mga distribution ng mga medicines, kinsa atong gigamit ang mga barangay health workers. Katong akong mga programa katong the tracking of pregnant women, sila po ang nag-track ni Ana.
Yes.
So, in short, they work so hard, but they get only 200 pesos a month. And that is not really ingon pa na to commensurate to the work that they are doing. And that is why I filed a bill for a Magna Carta for the barangay health workers so that we can institutionalize, standardize their salaries kay kaluoy po.
Yes.
But you know, in Congress, any bill that involves funding is really medyo lisod kaayo, no? Because aside from the bill, you look for funding.
Yes.
So that is why we are still deliberating it on the committee level.
Yes.
But I know that most of the congressmen will support this bill because they know very well na underpaid yun unsa may imong mapalit sa 200 pesos? Wala may gindi mong mapalit. Sa pamasahe lang nila, wala na. Actually, the barangay health workers, if we say that the OFWs are one of our unsung heroes, the silent bayanis, I would say that the barangay health workers are also unsung heroes. Many of these barangay health workers are working out of love. It's a labor of love. Because you cannot buy anything for 200 pesos. Actually, they are just, kung imong subayon, they are volunteers uh, to deliver basic health services in the barangays. Now, sure, we have hospitals, but the hospitals are located in poblacion in the cities. But in the far-flung barangays, it's the barangay health center that serves
Yeah.
as the delivery of basic health services. And ang mga tao na nagtrabaho din are the barangay health workers. And more than that, ang kasakit pa ni Ana, Alex, because the position or the appointment of barangay health workers is politicized. Why? They are appointed by the barangay captain. Unfortunately, pag mapulihan ka itong barangay captain ng bagong barangay captain, tanggalon na po ng barangay captain tagpong mga barangay health workers. Now, from time to time, we give trainings to barangay health workers. So some of the barangay health workers are already trained. But then, maumanggit ng politika. Siyempre, sabi mo, dapig ni sa napil din na barangay captain. Ang naitabo, tanggalon man. So you have to train again. Now what I want to do is to have the tenure. Mao na nga itong tumong diha. Kay kaluoy po ng barangay health workers. That is why when I was governor, pero gamay lang man lagi gani because I think we have about 4,000 barangay health workers in the entire province. Every year, naghatag ako 1,000 pesos a year, ha? Lipay na sila kaayo. They're more than happy because just getting 200 pesos a month. It's just a small amount. And that is why I filed this bill because I really feel for them. Kaluoy po ni ng mga tao. May mga pamilya po na nila.
Yes.
Pero they're working. And they work in shifts, ha?
Yes.
Nakita nyo na ko, they work in shift. Because in one barangay, depending on the population of the barangay, they can have 3 to up to 15 barangay health workers, depending on the population. So I think it's about time that we should also provide funds for the honorarium or salaries of the barangay health workers.
I agree with you, Cong, Johnny, that these barangay health workers, BHWs, and some of the community development workers have really exemplified what we call as genuine and unconditional voluntarism. As you said earlier, 24/7, unlimited time. In fact, they have left, of course, some of their responsibilities in their respective families just to attend to the concerns of the neighbors and the entire community. I know this is one of the timely and cold measure for now.
You know what, Lex? Some of the barangay health workers, usahay sila magpaanak. Kanang
Yes.
dili naging madala sa ospital, sila ang magpaanak. And then, during my time, ambot kung napadayon pa karon, those na makapaanak, tagaan silang 500 pesos. Pero gamay lang gyapon na. No? So
Yes.
just can imagine their responsibility, their work. So that is why I think it's about time that we should recognize the hard work of the barangay health workers.
Yes, Kong. And for sure, the barangay health workers in Caraga region, 1,310 barangays. Let us say if there are 3 in every barangay, so that's a huge number. And plus the other barangays in different regions. For sure, they would be more than grateful once this bill would be passed and acted into law and implemented, of course, by the national government, with help, of course, of the local government units. And Kong, may I just get, of course, your reaction on the mobilization of the barangay health workers during this time of pandemic? that they are also involved in the what we call as contact tracing, surveillance, quarantine, and other social relief activities during this COVID-19 pandemic. Uh, yes, Kong.
Yes, I know that they are involved. Sigurado ko, they're involved in the quarantines. They are involved in this pandemic problem, I'm very sure. And I just hope because the congressional office does not have funds, no, for this. Um, so I just hope that the local executives in the local government units would really recognize the effort of these barangay health workers, and they should provide incentives for these barangay health workers.
Yes, Kong. Kong, another proposed measure as you principally authored, which is close also to the previous measure, this House Bill number 05402, an act providing for a Magna Carta for barangay officials, personnel, and barangay volunteer workers. Please tell us about this proposed measure, Kong.
Actually, that is similar to the barangay health workers, no?
Correct.
Pero I'm more partial to the barangay health workers because the barangay council, actually, I filed that bill based on the request of the barangay council, no? They made representations, daghan sila. First, the Association of Barangay Captains, then Association of Purok Presidents. The Purok Presidents is not involved anymore. The Association of Barangay Kagawads.
Okay.
Because according to them, they are underpaid, na ilang actually, they are not entitled to salaries.
Mm-mm.
Honorarium lang sila.
Mm-mm.
So, at the moment, depende ang honorarium sa internal revenue allotment na madawat ng matag barangay. Some barangay captains receive 5,000, some barangay captains receive 10,000, depending on the internal revenue allotment of the barangay. Now, the objective of this Magna Carta law for barangay officials is to standardize, again, to institutionalize, tagaan sila ng salary grade. Let's
Yes.
say, for every barangay captain, depending on the class, because there is a first class, second class, third class barangay,
Yes.
depending on the class, they will be given a salary corresponding to a salary grade. So depende na dito sa implementing rules and regulations if ever this will become into law. So again, to institutionalize actually the salaries of barangay officials. That is their clamor. This one is based on the request of the different barangay officials. Kaya actually wala may good ilang sweldo. These are just honorarium. So ang atong gustong ibuhaton, parehas good sa they will more or less become government employees na standardized na ilang salary grade. More or less mauna ang tumong.
Yes, Kong. Because when I did, of course, a quick browse of your bills as principally authored and co-authored, I found out also the House Bill number 044073, institutionalizing the community-driven development approach for the national development strategy. This one can be only implemented and be successful if we can also motivate, continuously motivate for the barangay officials, elected, appointed, to continuously working. Because according to them, in one of the trainings we conducted on December, the barangay officials, elected and appointed, are the real first responders, as you said earlier, no?
Yes.
The first service providers, the real, of course, implementers of all responses for this pandemic, particularly COVID-19. In fact, all of the responses started at the barangay level or the community level, and they are the ones mobilized by the municipal, city, and provincial government according to them. So this is really a very timely, relevant, and a welcome, of course, legislative measure on the part of all barangay officials, barangay development workers, and especially the barangay health workers.